I really want to see these studios or some studio just really start making that change to make truly artistic adult collectible products. Like, we need to advance past this level. Like, look how plain the skin is. Look at all that. Look how plain that is. Just blah. Just plain. No shading in the muscles. No shading up here. Just plain, basic, solid, plain plastic. Like, no, man. And this figure is not cheap. I think this thing is like 100. Is it? Let's see. Hold on. I have a listing here. Okay, on GYZ Toys, $86.35. Okay, I assume the shipping is free. So basically, about $90 is going to pay for this, I would assume, right? A $90 figure and no shading, dude. For a $90 figure, you're going to give people this plain stuff right here. Like, I do think this is probably the best Vegito figure of all time, but that doesn't mean it's perfect. It just means it's better than the stuff we got before. Of course, it looks better than Bandai. I think it looks better than OC Toys. Looks better than Neo Kong. Okay, and I think sculpt-wise, they've almost pretty much perfected what I think these like 4.0 bodies should look like. Getting rid of those ugly, disgusting looking hips. Those things look so just absolutely atrociously abominable. Like, they're just so trash looking, dude. Just such horrible trash. And I just don't see enough people talking about that. Just, they look horrible. Just abominations to my eyes, okay? But this right here, I'm fine with this. Alright guys, welcome back to the Dragon Ball figure recap. I think there's quite a bit of third-party stuff this week. There's like just literally one new thing for SH Figuarts. And we're going to be talking about an updated mindset regarding pre-orders. If you've been following my posts, you should already know about this, but I wanted to mention it in this video too. For anyone who did not see those posts, I currently have a Shenron clone, the WP Birder, and the WP Raccoon on the way. I'll probably be reviewing them. Raccoon, I might or might not make a specific video for that figure because I got the regular version. I didn't get the new, like, the other version with the shaded coloring and all that kind of stuff. I just felt like I want my Ginyu Force figures to look consistent. I don't want to have, like, Jace is this color, then Birder and Raccoon are a different color, then Captain Ginyu is the same color as Jace, and like, it's just like, I don't want that kind of like mess, you know? So I think WP model really, what would have made more sense would have been for them to actually make Jace an option to buy Jace with the shading to begin with, so that you could have the whole Ginyu Force with a certain color or whatever. But they're not planning to make Captain Ginyu as far as I know, so it's still kind of pointless anyways, because even if you got the WP shaded Ginyu Force figures, you still couldn't get a Captain Ginyu with that color scheme. So why would anyone want to have the Ginyu Force all being different colors? So it's just kind of weird to me. Like, I don't know what WP model is doing. I don't know why they decided like halfway through basically to start doing this different color thing. But anyways, we're also going to talk about, of course, third-party stuff in general. There's been quite a bit of news this week, not really related to like a lot of different figures, but there's been a lot of updates regarding like specific, I guess, highly anticipated figures, okay? And I also want to talk about what if SH Figuarts actually had good shading, okay? So I want to compare what a customizer has made to the official SH Figuarts product, because some figures, yes, they look good even without shading, but if these figures actually had good shading, it would take them to the next level and actually make them worthy of the name premium, okay? Right now, these figures generally look like basically like very good kids' toys, I would say, right? But when you're talking about premium stuff, adult collectibles, I don't think those kinds of titles are deserving of things that are like plain with no shading and stuff. It's just like, there's nothing artistic about that really. Like, sure, yes, there are some good sculpts and stuff in some cases which are like, okay, that sculpt is really good, but it still has that kind of kid-like appearance because it's just so plain and basic in the colors and stuff, you know what I mean, man? So like, actually having good shading would actually make these things worthy of being called premium adult collectibles. And that is what that customizer is basically making. So I'm going to talk about that later. So first, let's get into these announcements, okay? So regarding pre-orders, I do not recommend pre-ordering third-party or custom items anymore. If you've been following my posts, you know that several people have reported that their ZL Studio Broly orders have been shipping from Treasure Toys. Treasure Toys actually told someone, based on a screenshot I saw, that the items, like the figure hasn't shipped. Those were logistics automatically generated to prevent cancellation. Based on what I've seen online, it seems that if the people actually do get something in the mail, like an actual box, it might contain like a note or something saying like, you know, contact Treasure Toys to get the real shipment once the thing really releases or whatever. Treasure Toys did respond to me as well. I messaged them on Instagram and AliExpress, I believe. I believe it was those two channels. And they told me it hasn't shipped yet. Expected to ship in September, I think is what they said. And I'm still, you know, communicating with that collector I mentioned that I contacted on Reddit. They said they'd like to get a refund. I have to wait and see if they update me on how that goes and stuff. So yeah, I mean, basically what I've, I guess, gathered from all of this, my new mindset is don't pre-order third-party stuff anymore, because it's just a mess. Like, these things keep getting delayed. In fact, let me show you the notice I added. So I updated dbfigs.com with this note here on relevant pages about like third-party custom pre-orders or whatever. And it says, I do not recommend pre-ordering third-party or custom items. Oftentimes, these items get delayed repeatedly and the actual release date is uncertain. Prolonged pre-orders can lead to things like automatic cancellation, having to manually extend delivery dates, and confusing automatically generated false logistics. Also, if your pre-order window goes beyond 6 months without receiving an item, PayPal can no longer help you dispute a charge to get your money back, putting you at the mercy of whatever seller or website you pre-ordered from. If you use another payment service or bank, I recommend researching what their policies are regarding what time frame you have to dispute charges. See PayPal's guidelines here. If you click those, it takes you to this page right here, okay? And this page basically says, let's read this. It says dispute filing timeframes for personal right there, okay? You can file a dispute for any of the following reasons: unauthorized activity in your PayPal account, a payment you don't recognize or are confident you didn't authorize, issues with your purchase, a purchase doesn't arrive or match the seller's description. I mean, I don't know, Shallot could possibly qualify for that. That looked like absolute garbage compared to those promotional images. But anyways, issues with the seller. A seller is not cooperating and doesn't respond to your messages, or you're simply unable to reach an agreement. Now, regarding Shallot, you see, the problem is, as far as I remember, like Bandai, these people, man, like, I can't stand them. But basically, like, they put that message where they say, oh, the final product might vary or whatever. And that, I would assume that basically protects them legally, where they can say, hey, we told you that the actual product might not look like this. So if they send you bootleg looking trash, then they can say, hey, we told you it might not look like the images, dude. So, you know, and that might be something where if they say got taken to court or whatever, they, you know, you couldn't really win because they did include that warning. So I hate that garbage. Really do not like that. Don't like it at all. Don't like it at all. But anyways, billing errors or issues with automatic payments, you've been charged more than once, okay? Time frames for filing a dispute. Item not received. Dispute must be opened within 180 days of the date you sent the payment to the seller, which is basically 6 months, approximately 6 months, right? So this is one reason why, regarding official pre-orders, I do not recommend pre-ordering official products more than 6 months before the release date, or specifically, according to these guidelines here, 180 days. Because after that point, PayPal can no longer, like, you know, help you dispute the charge and all that stuff. And basically you're basically putting yourself, you know, at the mercy of whatever website you bought the thing from. Okay, so I do not recommend that. So right now they have some pre-orders going on for SH Figuarts, which is like the Broly Super, Ultimate Gohan Superhero, and the 4.0 Teen Gohan. I think the release dates for those are like January, February, March. Right now this is August, so September, October, November, December, January, February. February is 6 months from right now. So I would say, basically approximately, I would not recommend pre-ordering anything that releases past February right now, because that'll be like probably exceeding the 180 days or 6 months kind of time frame kind of thing. Moving on now, it says right here, significantly not as described. Dispute must be opened within 30 days of the date of delivery or fulfillment as applicable of an order, or within 180 days of the date you sent the payment to the seller, whichever is sooner. Okay, so you can read all that stuff. If you use some other kind of payment service, I would recommend, you know, just looking up what their rules are regarding like disputing charges and stuff like that, your bank or whatever you use, and see what they say about that. And then for official pre-orders, let's say SH Figuarts pre-order, I have added a notice to certain pages as well, or at least this page. I think the release schedule also has this notice. Let's see. Yeah, right here, this has like the notice as well. So if you go here, this is dbfigs.com, of course. So notice about pre-orders. I do not recommend pre-ordering official products more than 6 months before the release date. If your pre-order window goes beyond 6 months without receiving an item, PayPal can no longer help you dispute a charge to get your money back, putting you at the mercy of whatever seller or website, etc., that kind of stuff. The same like PayPal's guidelines and stuff like that, okay? So regarding pre-orders, I will of course still include pre-orders on dbfigs.com. I don't know if I'll post about pre-orders like on YouTube, like YouTube posts. I might not. I might or might not. I'm not sure. But either way, whether I do or don't, you will see this notice here on dbfigs.com basically telling you, like, I do not recommend pre-ordering official products more than 6 months for the release date, and same and then for third party or custom stuff, I don't recommend pre-ordering them at all. You know, like basically wait until something's released. Once it's actually released, then you could buy it and, you know, get your figure, or, you know, presumably, or whatever. Like, but as far as pre-ordering, and then you might pass the window where your money is basically in the hands of whoever and you can't dispute it anymore. Like, I personally would be very, very, you know, I would not like to be in that situation where I pre-ordered a figure like 7 months ago or something, and it keeps getting delayed, or I get a false shipment notification or something, and then I can't dispute it. And like, I would rather not put myself in that situation. So I don't think you all should do that either, you know? So let's now move on to the next thing, which is right here. So regarding Dragon Ball Thunder, I was planning to make an update video this week, but I'm still like working on the information, so that is delayed. Okay, don't expect that this week. I'm still kind of like planning that, thinking about all the details and stuff like that. All right, so let's now move on to the SH Figuarts listings on like Amazon and stuff like that. We're gonna just kind of speed run these, and then we'll get into the SH Figuarts news, and then we'll have I think the shading stuff after that. So anyways, for DAIMA Adult Goku, $31.99 from Amazon right here. Barnes & Noble is $38 in stock. Mini Vegeta currently has a coupon offer, at least I do, for $19.87. Very low price. I think that's a solid price for that little figure. Then for Barnes & Noble, $38 for the adult DAIMA Vegeta in stock. This mini Piccolo here, I have a coupon offer for $26.99. Very solid price, I think, for that. For adult DAIMA Piccolo, $65 from Amazon. The Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku, $32.28, shipped and sold by Amazon right there. Of course, I have this myself. I think I actually have two of these. I think I have one of them just as like this figure, and then the other one I bought to combine with the like ENC Yardrat Goku kit thing. Okay. Then for Barnes & Noble, they have it as well, $38 right here. The Proud Namekian Piccolo, this is currently available, of course, $109.30 from Amazon. The price has gone through the roof once again, but GameStop does have a lower price here for $79.99 or $75.99 for pros. GameStop also has the Frieza First Form and Frieza Pod reissue up for pre-order. Release date October 24th, 2026, $97.99 or $93.09 for pros. And they also have this zip or pay in installments thing. And for GameStop, they have free shipping on orders. Well, free shipping on pre-orders, 59 plus. Free shipping on orders, 79 plus. Okay, you see 79 plus for this Piccolo here. And Barnes & Noble has free shipping on orders, $60 or more. Okay, now the Universe's Bombless Power Frieza, $37.99, being released on December 25th, 2026, shipped and sold by Amazon. GameStop has it as well, $37.99, $36.09 for pros, being released on December 6th, 2026, so a bit earlier than Amazon. I might consider getting this myself from GameStop since the release date is earlier, but they don't have the free shipping on like just in general like how Amazon Prime does, so there is that consideration. Legendary Super Saiyan Goku is currently gone from Barnes & Noble. So this is the last place I believe that I saw this like being sold in the US, so I think Amazon sold out, pretty sure Best Buy sold out, whoever else I was showing sold out as well, so Barnes & Noble has also now sold out. Okay, for Boy from the Future Trunks, $79.99, shipped and sold by Amazon right here. Then for Krillin Earth's Strongest Man, $57.85, available right now, shipped and sold by Amazon. GameStop has it for $64.99 or $61.74 for pros, available right now. Z Fighter Gohan still on sale, being released on February 19th, 2027, $62.30, 11% off, it says right there. GameStop has it as well, $69.99 or $66.49 for pros. Release date January 18th, 2027. So quite a late release date. This one's February though, so even later than that. On AliExpress though, Haro Toy Store has it up for pre-order, $76.19 free shipping, and they have $10 off on $69 right there. And it says size November 2026. Okay, for that. And let's see, Treasure Toys also has it up for pre-order, $77.58. They also have the $10 off thing going on, free shipping, and it says ship on November 2026. And GYZ Toys also has it up for pre-order, $73.99, and I believe their shipping is free, at least it was for me when I tested the checkout process. And this says ETA November 2026, so much earlier expected release dates from the Chinese sellers here than from like GameStop, Amazon, that kind of stuff. Then for Latent Power Trunks, this is available from Amazon right now, $35. Okay, and they have also a listing for a reissue, I believe this is. Yeah, let's see, I think it's a reissue, but it says $38, shipped and sold by Amazon. Free delivery Monday, October 26th. Oh, it says pre-order right there. Okay. And then Barnes & Noble, $35 in stock right now. Dangerous Pride Vegeta, $35.99, shipped and sold by Amazon. Barnes & Noble has it for $38 in stock. And Target, $36.49 from Target right here. As far as shipping, it says ships free, exclusions apply. Okay. GameStop, $37.99 or $36.09 for pros, and they have the zip or pay in installments thing right there too. Treasure Toys and AliExpress has it here, $48.66 free shipping. They do have $10 off, but only on $69, so you probably have to add more if you want to get any kind of discount on this, or you could probably try to find some other kind of coupon somewhere else. I do sometimes check, I think on Reddit there's like a thread of like AliExpress discount codes. I sometimes check that to see if I can find something else that's not displayed here or something like that, Let's see, Games Begin Goku. Yeah, so this, I don't see this being sold directly by Amazon, only from Amazon resale and like third-party sellers and stuff. Okay, but Barnes & Noble still has it here, $38 in stock right now. Kind-Hearted Saiyan Goku, $35.99, available right now, shipped and sold by Amazon. Now you see, if this figure didn't have those like awful looking Games Begin hips, I would have probably gotten it myself. I saw recently Big Dino's review of the Fighter of Rage Goku, and the hips on that figure I think look much better than Games Begin, at least based on what I saw. So I think if Bandai starts making Goku figures with that hip style or better, I might consider buying like this kind of looking Goku figure again. But I basically skipped all of these new 4.0 figures because those hips are just disgusting looking. I couldn't bring myself to buy that nonsense. So I did not buy any of those. Okay, the look 4.0 red Goku, blue Goku, Games Begin, this one, I didn't buy any of those, nor do I plan to. But if it had a Fighter of Rage hip style, I might have bought this one right here, or even, even some other ones perhaps. But you see the blue one and the red one, I think they have a lot of like looking to the side eyes nonsense going on. So even if they did have regular or like decent hip design, I might not have bought those. So there's that. Barnes & Noble does have Kind-Hearted Saiyan Goku here as well, though. $38 in stock. GameStop has it for $37.99 or $36.09 for pros. Okay. And the 4.0 red Goku here being released on September 15th, 2026, $38 from Amazon. GameStop has it releasing on August 23rd, 2026. So actually very 3 days from now, basically, right? I think today's the 20th. I'm recording this on Thursday, as I did before, in preparation for tomorrow. Gives me more time to edit and not have to rush and stuff as much. So 3 days, this should be available at GameStop. $37.99, $36.09 for pros. The 4.0 blue Goku, $35.99 from Amazon, being released on October 14th, 2026. GameStop has it here for $37.99 or $36.09 for pros. Release date September 23rd, 2026. Haro Toy Store already has the 4.0 red Goku here, $52.39 free shipping, and they have an offer here for $7 off on 45. So $7 from that should be what, $45.39, I think. My math can be horrible, so I'm guessing that's correct. I'm hoping that's correct. Then we have Treasure Toys also has it, $48.38 free shipping, $7 off right there. Bring that down to what, $41.38, right? Then let's see, the blue Goku from Haro Toy Store right here, $51.79 free shipping, $7 off offer as well. Right here, Treasure Toys, $51.13 free shipping in stock. These are all available right now. Okay. Then this listing here from Haro Toy Store has Games Begin Goku, 4.0 blue Goku, 4.0 red Goku, Kind-Hearted Saiyan, all available right now. Free shipping. It says ship within 12 hours. Okay. And Treasure Toys right here has a similar listing. Kind-Hearted Saiyan, Games Begin Goku, 4.0 red Goku, 4.0 blue Goku. Free shipping. Okay. And they all say in stock, I believe. Yeah, they all say in stock. Okay. Then for the 2.0 Super Saiyan Vegeta, $35 in stock from Barnes & Noble. Imperfect Cell or Cell First Form reissue, $80 in stock at Barnes & Noble. Does Barnes & Noble ever have sales for SH Figuarts? I feel like I always see their prices are I think they're always the regular full retail price or whatever. I don't think I've ever seen them have a sale. They might have. I'm not sure. I don't remember anything though personally. But then the 4.0 Teen Gohan reissue here. GYZ Toys has this up for pre-order, $61.46. Okay, and it says estimated ETA March 2027. For the Super Saiyan 3 Goku here at GameStop, $61.99 or $58.89 for pros. Super Buu reissue, $74.99, being released on January 22nd, 2027. The same figure here, reissue, GameStop, $74.99, $71.24 for pros. Release date November 23rd, 2026. And I recently saw some of a live stream with, I think it was Rock Chala 86 Reviews and a guy named Obi who used to work with Tamashi. And as far as I remember, he said that the person who was in charge of the Dragon Ball line for I think the past 5 years, he said, was really into the Namek Saga. That's why we have had so many just like Namek Saga figures and stuff. But now that person has been like replaced with someone else. So what I'm gathering from that is that we might see a drastic change in releases from the Dragon Ball line, as in like you probably won't see just tons of just Namek Saga stuff constantly anymore. So we'll have to see. I don't know what the new person is into. They might be into like the Boo Saga or the Android Saga. Could be the Android Saga. We'll have to see. But there should be some, you know, noticeable change in the direction of the Dragon Ball line, because as far as I can see, based on that information, they have had a change in leadership as far as who's running the line and that kind of stuff. Okay, so very interesting there. Now regarding this Vegeta here, I don't see it from Amazon directly. I do see Amazon resale there, but what about from Amazon themselves? Let's see here. Yeah, oh, Amazon does have it. Yeah, $38 right here, shipped and sold by Amazon. Barnes & Noble has it $38 in stock. GameStop has the Goku Black Rose reissue, $39.99, $37.99 for pros. Best Buy has the 2.0 Red Goku here, $31.99. It says clearance. I'm like, it says comparable value, $39.99. For clearance, that's really not much of a difference. Clearance should be like 50% off or something, but it's only like $8. So, but anyways, Barnes & Noble has the 2.0 Red Goku as well, $38 right here. The 2.0 Blue Goku, also $38 from Barnes & Noble, same price, yes. And then GYZ Toys has pre-orders available for the Broly Super reissue, okay? It says ETA February 2027. And the price is not, I mean, of course it's overpriced in general to begin with, but compared to what I would see in other places, I think this price is probably pretty low if the shipping is free, because then that'll be like, so $73.90, I assume free shipping, and if you give them like a $10 shipping break, that would be like $63.90 for the figure or something. So lower than I think I usually see for that. You know, of course, usually when I see it though, it's being resold, but I think even the like regular retail price in the US is higher than this, I believe. I'm not 100% sure though. But anyways, Superhero Piccolo reissue, $37.99, $36.09 for pros, being released on September 19th, 2026. GYZ Toys has pre-orders available for the Ultimate Gohan Superhero reissue. It says ETA January 2027. Okay. GT Kid Goku, $40.20 from Amazon right here on sale. And then Barnes & Noble, $54 in stock. And finally, we have it for $37.51 from Best Buy. Now let's move on to the SH Figuarts news. Okay, so there's literally just like one thing. For New York Comic Con, SH Figuarts is releasing this like new Super Saiyan 4 Goku. This like shiny pearlescent kind of thing. You guys already know, I do not like figures like this. If I ever wanted Goku to be like, you know, red for the Kaioken or Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken or something or whatever, or even the Super Saiyan like energy effects or whatever, like that kind of stuff, I would personally just like Photoshop that or edit that in a video editor or whatever. I don't really care about having like an actual like colored, different colored kind of figure and stuff like that. But if you like this kind of look for this figure, then they're making that, okay? I personally would rather, if I wanted a Super Saiyan 4 Goku, I would get the DF Super Saiyan 4 instead. I already have the original release of that, so I don't need another one. But for those of you who want to know about this, they are making this. The price is probably going to be like absolutely insane, and you can look into that if you want to. Alright, let's now get into the shading stuff, okay? So these images are by Bad Bear Custom on Instagram. They do honestly incredible work regarding like repainting SH Figuarts, adding shading and stuff like that. And they make the figures look like what SH Figuarts should actually look like, okay? So-called premium figures. So first, I'm going to show you 3 figures like today, and then I might continue this like as possibly a weekly thing where I show like other custom stuff they've made, okay? So first here we have Dangerous Pride Vegeta. And look at this right here, okay? Looks really awesome. See all the like shading and the detail and stuff. And I don't think they resculpted this at all. I think they just added like good paint work. So if SH Figuarts, if Bandai was not such a lazy company and they actually put effort into the stuff they call art, then this is how awesome Dangerous Pride Vegeta could look. Like, look at that. Look how much superior that is to the actual product they gave us, which is right here. Look how basic that is, right? Basic, plain, no shading. Looks very ugly to me. Like, no, okay? Another image. Let's see this right here. And this is just a mockery, okay? Complete mockery. This is supposed to represent a manga panel where Vegeta turned Super Saiyan or whatever. Like, it looks nothing like the manga. Nothing like the manga whatsoever. It's an embarrassment to the manga, okay? And people are gonna act like, oh, Bandai peak. No, this is not peak. It is trash. This looks very ugly. Awful looking stuff right there, okay? Next we have this right here. Very basic, okay? Very, very basic. There's not much really separating this from a children's toy, okay? This is not what a so-called premium figure should look like. Plain, generic face sculpts, no good detail. No, unacceptable, okay? Unacceptable. This is what a premium action figure should actually look like, okay? Now, Dangerous Pride Vegeta is a fairly like cheap figure, $38 price range or whatever. But a lot of other SH Figuarts figures we know are very drastically overpriced, and for those kinds of prices, they should put actual effort into their product and stop releasing children's toys for insane prices, okay? Let's look at this now. Looks awesome as well. Right here, the eye, I'm not sure if like, this is of course a work in progress, I think at this point, so the eyes might be like, you know, incomplete or whatever, but see the shading and stuff, like, yeah, awesome shading on the armor and everything. This is what I would actually like to have as a product, but there's nothing like this. It's not like I can buy some $200 Ban Presto figure or something like this. Just doesn't exist. This is not a product you can just buy at retail or anything, right? This doesn't exist, okay? So if you want Dragon Ball figures, official Dragon Ball figures, you gotta go through greedy, lazy Bandai. That's what we're stuck with as Dragon Ball figure collectors. Then we have this right here looking absolutely awesome, looking way better than this generic nonsense over here. Look at this, okay? Look at that. Is that premium to you? No, it's not premium, man, okay? This is what premium would look like, okay? This right here, super awesome, man. Then we've got this, okay? This is just, dude, embarrassing. This is embarrassing, okay? This is what Bandai is giving you and calling it premium, dude. Like, this is just unacceptable. Unacceptable. And thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people think that this is peak. They think this is, oh, dude, this is so incredible. I'm like, no, man. You have to have higher standards, dude. You have to have higher standards, man. You gotta open your eyes, okay? Like, these are not, like, you know, if they were, like, cheap, like, you know, let's say, if they were all $35, $38, then okay, you could say they're, you know, good for the price, I guess, okay? But this Trunks here is like $80. For what? $80 with no shading, no detail, generic face sculpts. It's a scam, man, okay? It's a scam. Games Begin Goku is also generic, but at least it's not expensive, so they can kind of get away with that, kind of, but still, it's not deserving of a name like art, okay? When you call your product Figuart, you should be putting in good artistic effort, okay? Look at this right here. See that, man? Compare that to what you get from Bandai. Embarrassing. Embarrassing. Compare this to like 2009, it's not that much better. It's certainly better than like the 1.0, yes, but for like 2026 going on to 2030, you're calling this stuff art, you're calling this stuff premium. Like, this is unacceptable, man. Unacceptable. You need to do a better job if you're gonna call this stuff art, okay? Plain, okay? Look at this right here. Awesome shading, awesome detail. This is what an actual adult collectible product should look like, okay? This looks more like a children's toy. This looks like an adult collectible, okay? Absolutely awesome stuff right there. Let's look at another post right here by Bad Bear Custom as well. Look at that. See all the detail, all the shading, dude. Makes it look way better, right? Makes it look way, way better. Look at this, okay? Look at that right there, okay? And then compare that to this stuff over here, right here. Let's find it. Yeah, this right here, okay? So look at that, and then compare that to this. See how much more premium this actually looks, how much more artistic and awesome it looks. See how plain that is, okay? Yeah, this is what an actual artistic collectible should really look like, okay? Let's see another image here. Look at that. Look how much better this product would look if it actually had some good shading, some good detail. Great stuff, man. Great stuff. Then we've got this as well, okay? And this image right here. This would actually look really awesome if Bandai did this. This is cool, man. This is cool. This is cool. Really cool stuff. And then finally, we have this set of images here. We have Piccolo over here as well. I might showcase the Piccolo in detail in a future week. But look at this Vegeta here. That is awesome. If I actually had that as my Dangerous Pride Vegeta, I might be like, look, man, I don't need recustom or anything necessarily. Like, this is awesome, you know? This is awesome stuff. Look at all the detail and stuff, right? Right here, got that. Looks way better. Now look at that, right? The teeth grid expression. And let's compare that to the teeth grid expression from this figure. Just looks awful. Let's see where it is. Oh, here it is. Is there another one? Look at that right there. Looks awful, man. And actually in person, I made a review of this a while ago. Like, these look slightly better than what I have like as an actual product. So look at my review if you want to see like how it actually looks, the real official product. Like, it looks awful, dude. It looks very, very ugly. Very, very ugly because it's just horrible, plain nonsense. But look how much better this looks, right? Look how much better that is, okay? Then we've got this. Cool stuff, man. All the shading in the muscles and stuff, right? Really bringing out the details, okay? That's what a premium product should look like. But over here, no shading, just plain, basic, like a kid's toy, okay? Like a Walmart, Target toy, right? No, you want to call it premium? I want to see some effort in what you're selling to people. Then look at this. Absolutely awesome, man. Absolutely awesome, okay? Just cool stuff, man. Imagine if you actually had action figures that look like this. Would that not be awesome? And literally all they need to do is apply better paintwork to these things and stop releasing that plain kids toy Walmart nonsense, okay? Look at that. Absolutely awesome. Incredible stuff, man. Very good work by Bad Bear Custom here. Look at this as well, okay? Absolutely awesome, man. That's what SH Figuarts should look like, man. See how the muscles, the detail in the muscles really show and stuff right here? Because of all the paintwork and the shading and stuff, man. But over here, just plain, basic, plain plastic. Look at this Games Begin Goku here. Just plain and basic. Trunks, same thing. There's nothing artistic about that, okay? This is artistic. This is an actual artistic product. That is an adult collectible right there. That's what SH Figuarts should look like, okay? Especially for the insane prices Bandai charge for some of these things. Look at that right there. Absolutely awesome. Awesome. And then, yeah, you can see it right here compared to the basic nonsense Bandai has on the box art. Okay? Looks way better. Way, way better. Okay? As I've said, Bandai has deceived and brainwashed thousands of people into thinking that average and mediocre products are worth insane prices or they look like masterpieces and stuff. No, they do not, okay? You have to open your eyes, man. At some point, you have to open your eyes, right? You can't just live your whole life just with your eyes just shut. You have to open your eyes at some point, okay? Look at that. Way better, okay? I think this is the last image here. Awesome stuff, man. Yeah. And next we have KW Cell. So, this figure is infamous. If you've followed my channel for some time, I think I made at least like 3 or 4 recap videos just roasting the life out of this thing because it honestly looked absolutely awful for the price. Absolutely disgustingly awful for the price. I think the regular versions were like about the $80 price range, and then the deluxe ones were like 100, 120 or more, that kind of price. Disgusting prices for what you were getting. And if you want to see what the actual product looks like, of course I have tons of stuff on my channel about that, but look how much better this KW cell would look if they actually put effort into the product. Now I think honestly, unlike Dangerous Pride Vegeta, like right here, I think the paintwork makes the sculpt like, you know, like the sculpt basically looks way better with better paintwork on it. But I think KW cell, the sculpt is so bad that even with better shading and stuff, the face sculpt still really doesn't look like Cell perfectly, but it obviously looks way better than what they released to the public, okay? So look at that right there, all right? And then we have this, you see like, it looks way better than before, of course, as far as the detail and stuff, but I think the sculpt is so weak and I would say honestly ugly that even with good paint work, it still doesn't look perfect, but it does look better than what they actually released, okay? And they had the gall to comment on one of these images. We're gonna see that later. So you've got that. I could not believe they commented that, man. Anyway, so you've got this, right? Another look at it right there. Now, if the KW cell actually had this kind of shading and detail and stuff, I might have considered it possibly, but the face sculpts to me are still pretty ugly. And of course, that's not Bad Bear Custom's fault. That's KW's fault for making an ugly sculpt to begin with. But it does look better, of course, than the official, well, the actually released product by KW Studio. Like right here, the detail really does make it look better. But I think this as well, like the sculpt is just so weak. It's like there's only so much that a customizer can do with a bad sculpt. You know what I mean? So I think Bad Bear Custom basically, like, you know, put in like really good effort to try to make this thing look solid. If you ignore the face sculpts, I think this body, like, it's really like solid detail and shading and stuff like that, you know, to really highlight those details and stuff. Another look here, like, look at this. That looks really cool, right? That looks super cool, okay? Really love the detail on that. Then we have this as well, right? Look at that. See the shading, bringing out the muscle detail and stuff, dude. This is what KW should be doing, man. And as I've said multiple times, I believe, like, you know, I don't really generally criticize third-party studios as much as I criticize Bandai for having poor shading, because I would think they're just like, they're following Bandai's example, trying to make the figures, you know, work with SH Figuarts collections and stuff, kind of, I guess, blend in with them or whatever. But I do personally, I want to see studios start to step up as far as what they deliver artistically. I think I've gotten to the point where I don't really care about whether the figure matches SH Figuarts. I just want artistic products, okay? Tired of getting basic, plain products that are really not much better than kids' toys, and in some cases just like basically kids' toys to me. I want to see figures that actually look like they deserve to be called artistic, premium, adult collectibles, okay? And a big part of that is to start adding this kind of shading and detail. We're going to talk about Fighter of Rage Goku later, and that one is a very strong example of Bandai's just lazy nonsense for calling these things premium, okay? So look at that right there. Great detail on the body right there. Then we have this. I guess, I don't know if they did anything to the wings, but cool, you know? And then the next thing we have for KW Cell right here is this. Look how awesome that looks, okay? Look at that. Looks way better, right? Than the plain, cheap-looking nonsense they released. And KW Cell right here, they commented, "Nice work." And I'm like, dude, this is what you should have made, okay? This is the kind of effort you should have put into your product to begin with. and they're saying nice work. Well, you did not do any nice work. Okay, in fact, well, I guess the only thing I think that was well done by KW Studio was probably the little shell thing or whatever, the larva state or whatever. That's probably the only thing I think they did like a good job with. I think the body sculpt is also probably pretty good, I guess. But like the face sculpt's poor job. And I mean, it's such a poor job that even with like this like added detail by Bad Bear Custom and stuff, it's still just like it doesn't perfectly capture Cell's likeness. So hopefully, you know, if Bandai does release their perfect Cell, hopefully that will capture Cell much better, but it'll probably still have poor shading, no detail, basic looking, you know, paint work or, you know, detail or whatever. If Tonson makes a perfect Cell, 99% chance it will look better than the SH Figuarts version, but Tonson also does not have good shading or anything. So I don't expect really to see any studio with good shading. Of course, WP Model currently seems to be making like a new Raccoon with possibly with good shading, a new Birder that might have good shading, at least on the armor parts, armor pieces and stuff like that. But I have not yet seen any studio that I feel like they really just, you know, 100% get it on the mark with the shading and stuff. While Super Action Studio, I think they did a pretty good job with the Goku upper body, the Goku figure that I have, but the pants didn't really have good shading and stuff, and the hands I don't think had any shading either. So even they did not completely deliver in that area to me, you know? And then we have this right here, way better than the actual product they released. Okay, nice detail on the Cell body there. Okay, then we have this, right? Way better than what they released. What they released was such an embarrassment, dude. Like, I think the manga colored one with the blue parts or whatever looks a bit better, but dude, look at this. Look at the face sculpt on this thing, man. Awful. Absolutely awful work, okay? And then look at the body, right? No detail whatsoever. But I do think that the color of green on this manga one, I think the plastic on the manga one looks less cheap than the plastic on the anime colored one. So I actually wish Bad Bear Custom had shown the anime one here, because I think that one looks worse than the manga colored one. I think this one is slightly better looking than the anime colored one, okay? So moving on, now we have this right here. Like, look at how awful this face sculpt is. Like, you have no right calling this a premium adult collectible, okay? This looks like someone never saw Cell a day in their life, or just saw him once and just sculpted this from memory or something, right? Like that person, I think I saw someone a while ago saying Bandai looks like they sculpt these things from memory, dude, like the face sculpts, and like this looks like that, man. Like just basic third grade art, like a child just drew this in art class or something, dude. Like no real artistic excellence here, okay? And this does, I mean, make it look a bit better, but the sculpt is still so bad that, you know, I still don't like these face sculpts that much, but the body is of course quite an improvement. So then we have this right here as well. See how the detail, it brings out the detail and stuff. And look at this. Okay, this right here in this image, I'd say the plastic looks pretty cheap, right? Look how cheap the plastic looks for $100, $120 or more or whatever. Like, no, dude, you're getting children's toys for insane prices, man. Okay, this is what a premium figure, a so-called adult collectible, should be looking like as far as detail, shading and stuff. On the arms here, I'm not sure I like how the shading is applied on the arms here necessarily, but like over here, I'd say yeah. And of course the first image, I think the body looks really cool right here. Like that is awesome. Okay, really awesome stuff right there. And let's see what other images are here. We've got the crossed arms there, and then we've got this. I think this actually doesn't look that bad. Yeah, I think the sculpt of this one might be good enough that it's kind of acceptable. You know, it's not, I guess it's not as ugly as some of the other sculpts are. So okay, we've got that, cool. And then finally we've got this. Look how plain and basic this is, right? Like what is really separating this from a children's toy? There's just not much. There's not much, okay? And let's now move on to the final figure we're going to showcase like an improvement with the shading and stuff by Bad Bear Custom, which is going to be a figure that is getting completely glazed by so many people right now. This right here, Fighter of Rage Goku. Okay, I don't even have to say anything. If you have eyes, you don't have like a cataract or glaucoma or something, you can see how much better this looks than what Bandai gave you for $65 before shipping and taxes. Look at this. This right here. This is what SH Figuarts should look like. This is what a so-called premium figure should look like. Not this plain basic nonsense over here with no shading, none of the scratches are painted. This is just unacceptable. And people act like Bandai, you know, reinvented sliced bread, dude. It's just insane to me. So you got that right there. Like, people really just have such low standards for these figures, dude. Such low standards, man. Bandai could just release the most basic nonsense. People like, oh, go. It's like, dude, relax, man. You're not getting stuff that's that great to justify that kind of behavior, man. Okay? Look at this. Awesome stuff, man. Then we have this right here. Look how much better of a product this would be. Okay? It would justify being like, oh, new Goku. This would justify that. Not this kind of stuff over here. Look at this. Okay? It looks better than I thought. I thought it looked worse based on the promotional images. But still, to call this premium and to freak out like Bandai just reinvented sliced bread, dude. No, you gotta have standards, man. You gotta have standards. Look at this. Okay? Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Breathe. Breathe. Take a breath. Okay? Then open your eyes slowly. Look at this right here. Okay? Look at that. And then look at this basic thing right here. Oh, hold on. The zooming in thing. Hold on. And then look at this basic thing right here. Okay? Look at that. That does not deserve to be called a so-called premium adult collectible, man. This is basically children's toy level right here, man. Okay? Don't call this stuff premium, man. It's not premium, dude. It's just not premium. Just because you call something premium doesn't actually make it premium, okay? It actually has to be premium, okay? Got this right here. And honestly, the teeth grid expression on the official figure looks so absolutely atrocious. I even saw Big Dino's review of this figure and it still looked absolutely horrible. I was like, oh, I can't even, dude. I couldn't look at it without literally being like, ugh. Like, I can't even look at this. Look how awful this looks, man. Just basic stuff right here, dude. Basic stuff right here. Talking about premium. It's not premium, man. You gotta have standards, okay? Look at this. Way better. It actually looks artistic, okay? Look at that. Really awesome. They even add the red coloring and everything, dude. Okay? Now, some of this, I guess, I'm not sure if the scratches are all painted or not. It seems like they might be with a light brown, I guess. Okay? That might be what that is. I'm not 100% sure. But the shading on the skin, dude, is just like awesome, dude. Like, imagine if for $65 before shipping and taxes, this is what you were getting. If that's what it looked like, I would be much more likely to get it and be like, okay, this is actually worth the money. But this right here, dude, is a kid's toy, man. This is a kid's toy. Why is it $65? For what reason? It's nonsense. Absolute nonsense. You gotta have standards. Look at this. This is what an artistic collectible actually looks like. Thank you, Bad Bear Custom, for showing us what we should be getting for these insane price tags. Okay? Look at that. Looks so much better, dude. So much better. If you can't see that, I don't know how to help you, okay? I don't know what to do for you, man. You might need eye surgery. Look at that. Incredible stuff, man. Wow, man. Like, this is awesome, dude. And then this right here looks so much better, man. Do they have the Let's see the teeth gritted looking down at Frieza expression or whatever. Where is that? Do they have that in here? Oh, here it is. Oh my goodness, dude. This is just... like, sometimes I have to actually calm myself down to avoid just being just enraged completely at this nonsense. Look at this basic nonsense here. Look at this basic nonsense, man. And then compare that to this, okay? This is what Bandai should be making, not this basic garbage. It looks like a child drew this in the 3rd grade, okay? It's an embarrassment to the manga, dude. It's an embarrassment to the manga. Look at this nonsense, man. And then look at this. Look at this. Look how awesome this is, dude. Wow, man. Oh, this is so cool, dude. This is so cool, man. Look at this awesome stuff here, dude. Look at that. The detail, the shading, the red detail. And look at this. Not a single scratch is painted on this nonsense here for $65. Insane, dude. You gotta stop just glazing Bandai blindly, dude. Acting like they're just releasing sliced bread for the first time, dude. Gotta have standards, man. Look how awesome this is. This is what Bandai should be delivering for $65, dude. That is awesome. That is awesome stuff, man. Bad Bear Custom just makes some awesome stuff here, man. And then look at this. Look at this, right? Look at that basic nonsense on the box there. For $65. No shading. Nothing. Not a single scratch is painted. Not any red wound detail. Nothing. Incomplete product. Lazy product. Scamming product. Okay? And then look at this. This would be worth the money. If Fighter Ridge Goku looked like that, I'd be like, yeah, dude, I think the price is solid. I think the price is solid. This actually looks like it's worth my money. Like it actually deserves to be called a premium artistic collectible. Look how awesome that is, man. That is cool stuff right there. That's what that figure should look like. Incredible work by Bad Bear Custom. Look at this. Awesome, dude. Awesome. That is just cool stuff, man. That is just cool stuff right there. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Then we have this right here as well. I love this, man. I love this. I love this right here, man. That is cool, dude. Like, wow. And finally, this image here as well. Absolutely awesome stuff. And then compare that to the plain, shadingless, paintless nonsense on the box. Dude. Bandai's just a disgrace, man. Just a disgrace. Then we have this right here. Okay, some more images. Looks awesome. Got this. Man. This is what we should be getting for SH Figuarts for $65, $80 for just plain kids toys. No. Lazy company, man. Just a lazy company, dude. Okay? Look at that. Absolutely incredible work. That is awesome stuff, dude. That is awesome stuff. Look at this right here. Awesome. Absolutely awesome, man. Finally, well, almost finally got that. Then we've got this right here. I love this comment here. P Bandai exclusive. Nah. Bad Bear Custom. Yes. Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. And I guess this is like, based on a comment like that, you know, this is a bit of a, I guess, unofficial brain power acknowledgement kind of thing too, with like these kinds of comments right here. Like, these people, man, like, those who can see this stuff and really understand, like, this is what the figure should look like. Because I think there are other comments, or at least one other comment I could think of, that said, like, this is what SH Figuarts should look like out of the package. You know what I mean, dude? Like, this is what they should be making. Yes. Okay? People who can see that, your eyes are opened to the scammery of what Bandai's doing. Man, awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Then we have this. It's kind of funny how they like drop the figure too, but then we have this right here. I think this is the last post here. This one has base form Goku's head sculpt on there though. Got that right there, looking absolutely awesome. Awesome stuff. Like, I don't know how people can see stuff like this and see like third-party head sculpts like Recustom and stuff, or you know, some Air Studio stuff and stuff like that, and be like, oh yeah, Bandai's basic nonsense is totally cool. Like, you can't be serious, dude. Like, you cannot be serious, man. You can't be serious. Like, you're not serious. Got this. Look at this. Incredible work. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. That's awesome stuff right there, man. Man, just awesome, dude. Just awesome. We got this right here, and finally this. Yeah. So yeah, that's it for Fighter of Rage Goku, man. So I think I might make this like a weekly thing, possibly, where I highlight different customs Bad Bear Custom has made, because they've made other stuff I wanted to show, like Super Saiyan 3 Goku. They've, you know, improved that. There's Teen Gohan, there's Piccolo, there's of course the Ginyu Force and stuff. There's 24,000 power level Vegeta, dude. Like, just so much awesome work that I want to I just want to showcase, and I want to I guess make people aware, like bring more eyes and more attention to this, that Bandai, dude, Bandai does such a lazy job with SH Figuarts for the prices they charge, and there are too many people, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people, that Bandai has deceived into believing that the stuff they make is absolutely incredible, this is awesome and stuff. And I'm like, no, man, like you've just been misled. You've been misled. So I would like to just bring more attention to this and help more people to have their eyes opened, artistically speaking. Okay, so let's now move on to the third-party stuff. All right, so first for third-party stuff, we have this AY figure here. Well, not a figure, it's like a muscle accessory torso thing. At first I thought the name of the company was Extreme Muscle, but it seems that's the name of the product. And I guess this is supposed to be like, I guess, a successor to that, like, who made that? Was it Air Studio or something? Or TK, I think, that made that kind of like manga style Goku torso before. So you have this right here. I don't really like how this looks personally, and it looks like it doesn't even have any bicep swivel, which is really bizarre. I actually just noticed that. I don't think it has a bicep swivel. That's pretty weird. Why would it not have a bicep swivel? Okay, but anyways, Korea News posted that, saying Extreme Muscle new higher articulation system announced, designed for the, like, you know, previous release and new release. Games begin with torso conversion accessories to match manga style, and talking about the joints and stuff like that. But it says releasing Q4 2026, but there's a later post which kind of like basically tossed the potential quality of this in the dirt. But here you see that. Don't know why it has no bicep swivel. Once again, really strange. And I don't personally like the style of this. Like, the torso looks kind of weird and kind of distorted to me, I guess. I think the TK one looked better than this, artistically speaking. You've got this image as well right here. I guess this pose here, it looks a bit better in this pose, but still kind of like weird to me, you know. You got this as well. Yeah, just not, I don't personally like how this looks very much. I think it looks a bit odd, a bit bizarre. But here's the other post I mentioned earlier, talking about saying, like, it says AY, the recent Extreme Muscle product appears to have been sent to local China designers. New joint carving issues and sculpt mold tears. It does not look good according to few who has it right now. We don't recommend to purchase if these will be set for higher price. So I guess what they're showing is like this right here, the separation. So I assume it's like not, you know, glued together properly or something. This part looks really bizarre. Like, why is the back of his arm like hollowed out like this, man, this stuff, I just don't really like how this looks personally. Okay, so I guess you have some scuffing here. I guess that's what that is. So it doesn't seem to be of very good quality based on the ones that people have gotten or whoever has gotten it so far. And then you have that, some flashing on the neck. I think that's what that's called. This hand right here seems to have some flashing as well, and here. So it doesn't seem to be very good quality, okay? Next we have Blood Fang. So it seems that after, you know, criticism and stuff like that, they have sought to improve how the eyes look on this figure. So the eyes are a bit smaller, it seems, or at least the pupils are. I think the actual eyes in general are a bit smaller too. And I think I saw someone saying they wish he had like the whiskers, but they are like molded into the face sculpt. They're not separate. They're not like, you know, protruding or whatever. They're actually molded into the face sculpt, okay? So they are there. But of course, because these figures don't have great shading, they kind of blend in with certain lighting and stuff, I think. So if the figure had really good shading or whatever, they could probably just add some dark shadowing around it so you can more easily see that it is present. But when you don't have good shading on stuff, you know, the color, because it's the same color as the rest of the face sculpt, it probably would blend in a lot more, be more difficult to notice it, right, from certain angles or in certain lighting and stuff. But this here by Courier News, it says Blood Fang updated head sculpt eye stickers. After discussion with the main production lead of studio, they have sent update about eye stickers, changing a bit of placement eye and making sure head sculpt is accurate. Okay, so I think, you know, the renders here look pretty good. This looks pretty good. I think before, like what we saw before, the renders look better than the physical product. But I think based on the new images I've seen, it seems like they've pretty much gotten the head sculpt right. So we'll see that later. I guess before and after right here. You see, as a render it looks fine, but as a physical product, it just look kind of, the eyes look kind of goofy to me. So I guess they've adjusted that there. Okay. Then we've got this looking to the side, of course. I hate looking to the side stuff, man. Oh my goodness. But anyways, then we got this looking to the side as well. And now we have this by, yeah, Akuma Cookie, Super Yi Shenlong, the Ultimate Evil from Dragon Ball GT, Power, Destruction, Absolute Dominance, a true final boss brought to life by Blood Fang Studio. And so I think it looks a bit better now. I think it looks a bit less goofy. Still wish, like, for example, as far as detail goes, like, look at these, you know, lines here. Like, these should be painted or something to make those details really show better. Like, even right here he has lines. There's some lines, hair, I think hair possibly. Like, just so much detail that doesn't have anything. Like, look at all of this, right? Like, all of these things here, there's just no paint whatsoever. The shading looks better than normal, than like a normal or usual, like, you know, SH Figuarts style figure. So I kind of like how the shading looks on this. I think they did a better job than like most tend to do, but there's still a lot of detail that's left unpainted, unfortunately. Okay, then we have this as well. I think this looks a bit better. Although as I think about it, it might still look kind of goofy. Perhaps not as goofy as before, but still slightly off. Something looks slightly off about it, like, just looks a bit goofy, I think, you know? But not as goofy as before, but still not so perfect that you're like, that's spot on perfection, you know? And then look at the whiskers or whatever, like you see here, they are molded in right there. But because there's no shading or anything, they just kind of blend in. So that is basically an imperfection you have to suffer due to these figures not having, you know, great overall shading everywhere and stuff like that. Next we have this image here. It says, oh, by Courier News. Okay, so I guess the same Kuma Cookie person, some prototypes, showcase right here. So yeah. You can't really, I guess you can see the top of the head sculpt, but see the lines here? No paint whatsoever. I mean, these seem to be kind of possibly painted a bit or something, I don't know, but the others, This might be slightly painted too, I don't know, but these are generally like, there's just like, you know, not really a lot of paint going on or anything to really make those details show. So yeah, man, like so-called premium figures really should be like painting all these details and stuff, man. Especially this thing is like what, like $100 basically, dude. Like you should be painting these details properly, you know. It does have a good amount of accessories, but still, you know. But anyways, improvements are being made for the release. It'll be shown more, and your comments has been sent to the team. Production behind the release. Adjustments to sticker eyes and the head sculpt lines and paint are made for the audience. Thank you for supporting Courier News, it says. Okay, cool. And then this right here. All right. Another look at that right there. Then you've got this, and you see here in the render, it looks like these lines are actually colored black or gray or whatever. But then in the physical product, they're just generally blank. Like why make the render have more detail than what you're actually gonna sell to people? I just hate to see that stuff. You know, it's like, if you're gonna show that detail in the render, dude, make the product you're selling look like the flipping renders, okay? So yeah, I just don't get it, man. Why would you do this in the render and then the actual product is just blank for $100? Just like, I hate to see it, man. Moving on to DKO, recustom, just one thing here. So the Super Saiyan 2 like Goku head sculpt accessories here are being reissued. It says ship in Q4 2026. GYZ Toys has pre-orders for these. I've already added the link to dbfigs.com as well, so you can find this in the new pre-orders section or on the like recustom DKO page, that kind of thing. So these are very similar to the Bardock set that I use for Dragon Ball Thunder. So I think they look pretty good. I think honestly, like, I think I slightly prefer the Bardock face sculpts to the, I think these are slightly different. I think like these are a bit shorter or a bit shrunken or something, but they're very similar. So they look pretty good, I think, you know. But the price, I think the price is a bit high. It's like $50-something. So I think like just for this, that price is a bit up there. So as far as the price goes, I don't really like that. Artistically, I like the Bardock stuff, so these should be comparable to those, I would think. Now for GX, this is the Master Roshi body that they're working on. They're, I guess, testing the scale of it. It says GX Master Turtle Sculpt Size Test, showcasing full joints and sculpt size in comparison with third-party lineups. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments. I think the scale is fine. I guess Master Roshi's height in his buff form probably varies depending on the movie, the episode, the anime frame, the manga panel or whatever. I don't think I've ever seen the manga panels or manga panels of this form of him, but I assume he shows his form in there too. The arms though do look pretty bizarre, but you know, I assume that's just because it's like a prototype scale test kind of thing. I'd assume the actual finished product would not have this kind of weird looking arm. Like, look at that, right? So yeah, I would assume the final product won't have that. Next we have MP, which is probably, this is probably the most anticipated figure, third-party figure right now. Supposed to be releasing soon. And let's see, Treasure Toys posted this right here. It says MP Vegito. According to the discussion on at Courier News regarding the adjustments to the chest, there has been a delay. Yellow color arrived this week. So this should be releasing very, very soon. I love how this body looks. Like, I love the silhouette, the leg style, everything. Like, this is how Games Begin Goku, the 4.0 Teen Gohan, Kind-Hearted Saiyan, all that stuff. This is basically what they should look like. This is what they should look like, okay? Because you see the legs here are very similar to the 3.0 Ultimate Gohan, DF Marshallus Forever kind of style. And then the upper body is very similar to Games Begin Goku, although it seems to be improved. I think this looks better than Games Begin Goku's upper body, because it doesn't seem to have the same kind of like gap kind of stuff going on in the upper body. Now, when you lean him back, I think when he leans back, there's a bit of a gap, but admittedly, I do know that with Games Begin Goku, you can move the like rubber piece around to kind of hide the gaps, but it's kind of annoying to have to do that for like like all the time. With this one, it seems like the gap is not as extreme as with Games Begin Goku, but I think there is still some degree of a gap. But of course, you could move the piece around, I guess, to like help hide that. But like, this is like totally cool, you know. Now, I like how it looks generally, but it's just plain. You see, just plain. Like, there might be some subtle shading, but it's just plain, you know. It's like, yeah, we really need to see a revolution with these figures, man. Like, we need to start seeing better shaded products and everything. Like, there's just not enough artistically separating these products from children's toys. And I don't want to just be buying children's toys because there are no true artistic collectibles available. You know what I mean? Like, there should be somebody making like high quality, actual artistic, well painted Dragon Ball figures, not just like basically things that are somewhat better than children's toys. Like, because that's really what we're buying here, because there's no better alternative, you know. So I really want to see these studios, or some studio, just really start making that change to make truly artistic adult collectible products. Like, we need to advance past this level. Like, look how plain the skin is. Look at all that. Look how plain that is. Just blah. Just plain. No shading in the muscles. No shading up here. Just plain, basic, solid, plain plastic. Like, no, man. And this figure is not cheap. I think this thing is like 100. Is it? Let's see. Hold on. I have a listing here. Okay, on GYZ Toys, $86.35. Okay, I assume the shipping is free. So basically, about $90 you're gonna pay for this, I would assume, right? A $90 figure and no shading, dude. For a $90 figure, you're gonna give people this plain stuff right here. Like, I do think this is probably the best Vegito figure of all time, but that doesn't mean it's perfect. It just means it's better than the stuff we got before. Of course, it looks better than Bandai. I think it looks better than OC Toys. Looks better than Neo Kong. Okay, and I think sculpt-wise, they've almost pretty much perfected what I think these like 4.0 bodies should look like. Getting rid of those ugly, disgusting looking hips. Those things look so just absolutely atrociously abominable. Like, they're just so trash looking, dude. Just such horrible trash. And I just don't see enough people talking about that. Just, they look horrible. Just abominations to my eyes, okay? But this right here, I'm fine with this. And as I said before too, Fighter of Rage Goku, I think I mentioned that in this video, Fighter of Rage Goku's hip design is also pretty much acceptable. I think that could be acceptable potentially. If they could improve on it even further, that'd be good. But I think either the Fighter of Rage leg design or something better than that, or even just this, I think is fine. We don't need to start adding these propeller jet plane wings off of their hips like they're turning into Cell. It's just disgusting to look at. Okay, so looks cool there. Lack of shading though, too plain for an expensive figure. Like, you need to add some detail, man. You can't be just making a $90 figure no shading, dude. It's just ridiculous, man. So like, I like the sculpt and stuff like that, but I'm also very disappointed to see how plain this is. Like, just no, you know what I mean? Let's move on now. So next image, very similar, looking forward. Okay, cool. Then we've got this right here with Super Boo and the, like, you know, the energy sword or whatever. So yeah, I think the silhouette, like the shape of the body, looks very, very cool. I do think this is probably the best Vegito figure ever made, assuming the quality control will be good and stuff like that. We'll have to see, I guess, regarding that. I actually just watched Big Dino's review of the WP Birder, and his Birder was quality control garbage, man. So all that stuff they were talking about oh, collectible quality and whatever, he still got a trash figure. I'm gonna have to see if my Birder is trash as well. I just WP, man. All right, moving on. So another image of the Vegito here. Looks cool, man. Looks cool. I do generally like how it looks, just like apart from the lack of, you know, shading and stuff. but it is, I think, the best looking Vegito figure made to date. So it has a bunch of accessories too. So, you know, in their defense, I would say you do get a bunch of stuff with this figure. You get, I assume, if we count this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 face sculpts. You got this energy sword, that energy sword, the Super Boo thing, crossed arms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 hands. You got, I assume these are different bangs than these ones, but they look very similar. You've got his hand holding the antenna, you've got this hand here, and you've got a stand, which I believe is for this energy blade. So, I mean, for the price, you are getting a lot of stuff. You know, I could possibly do a scamculation for this, but it's not looking bad right now. I think you get, it's quite stacked, honestly. You know, it's like, what, $90 basically, so you're getting a bunch of stuff, man. You're getting a bunch of stuff. And it says here, MP Vegito getting an update video tonight. MAU001 yellow ship this week. Okay. And we've got this. Yeah, so looks pretty cool. Apart from, of course, the plainness. Like, it's just, dude, so plain, you know? Look at that, you know, man? Disappointing. That part disappoints me. About this hobby in general. It's just like, it's just... The whole hobby in general is just plagued with this plainness because Bandai is so lazy and they influence others to just be lazy as well. So you've got this. Make sure to place your order. Pre-orders now. JS Figure Shop. I'm not familiar with that Instagram account there personally. Within the next week. Arrive shortly after to the US. Okay, cool. Then we've got this. I do like this image. I think this is like a cool pose kind of thing. Kicking Super Boo right there with the arms crossed. I might use that in the thumbnail. I don't know. That looks pretty cool. And then we've got this right here. Okay. Yeah. So I think the face sculpts are actually better than I initially thought based on, I think, last week's images. I think that was last week. But I think they look better than I thought before. So I think this does currently hold the title, I believe, of the best looking Vegito figure of all time. And then we have this charging up, looking down and stuff. I believe that's what that is. So that looks cool. That looks cool too. Then we've got this. Yeah, so this is really, you know, now this part does look a bit bizarre. It's like a bit, you know, there's that there, which I think looks kind of odd, but not like the worst thing ever. But yeah, man, I mean, this is more or less, this is really what Games Begin Goku should have been aiming to look like, you know, instead of those just awful looking hips. Just look so horrible, dude. Oh, just thinking about them just annoys me. Continuing now, we've got this. That looks cool too. Yeah, man. So I think the face sculpt as well right here. Yeah, that looks pretty good, I think. And then this right here. Pretty solid happy expression, I think. Doesn't look like, you know, cross-eyed or goofy or weird or anything. It's not like the Bandai, like, SDCC 2024 Goku. That one, the happy expression, just looks awful to me. So you've got that. Then another look at the same, I guess, accessory stuff, you know. Now, we have PC Toys. So this is, they're calling it Mutant Lizard Warrior Kado, which is basically Janemba. So we've got this here. Not that many accessories. What is the price of this? Hold on. I do have right here. $76.90 from GYZ Toys. Okay, I think Haro Toy Store also has this. Yeah, right here. $81.29 free shipping. They do have the $12 off thing going on as well. Of course, you guys know I do not recommend pre-ordering third-party stuff. I'd recommend waiting and seeing when it releases, and then when it releases, if it releases, then you could buy it, you know, with a bit more financial security and stuff like that. But $81.29, $12 off. How many? I don't know. I think the price is a bit high, but you do get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 head sculpts. I hope those are 6 head sculpts and not 6 face sculpts that all attach to the same head sculpt or something. But these look, this one, don't really like that one too much. I think as a physical product, as I said before, as a physical product, I think this looks better than as a render. So I guess we'll have to see how the physical product ends up looking. But this is PC Toys, of course, posted by Kang. Now, it's really weird because I feel like Kang's AliExpress store has been pretty inactive. Like, they haven't been posting as much stuff as they used to, I think. Or, like, they're just not really updating it as often as I expect them to and stuff. And they posted this, but I don't think I saw this up for pre-order at their AliExpress store. And I believe Kang had another website called like kangsomething.com or something. But I checked it like probably a few days ago, and it's like the store is down or something like that, I think. So I don't know what's going on with Kang. They're still posting on Instagram, but their activity is just not, I don't know, kind of confusing to me. So then we have this version here, which I believe is based on Dragon Ball Heroes, this dark one right here with the lines and the neck and stuff like that. Okay. Then we've got this one, which I guess is just like a shiny version of the regular color scheme. You already know I do not care about this personally. I do not like shiny figures. I mean, even for the birder, the WP model birder, you know, if I get mine, it's delivered and everything with no problems or whatever, I'll probably spray it with a matte finish, like the black parts, because the black parts are like kind of shiny and stuff, I think. So I'll probably spray that with a matte finish to get rid of some of that shine, or get rid of that shine period, because I hate shiny figures. I hate stuff reflecting everywhere, because it's just a nightmare for green screen and all that stuff. Like, you don't want the green reflecting on the figure and stuff. It's really annoying for me. Like, as far as animation goes, I just hate shiny figures, dude. Such a nightmare to work with green screen and stuff. But anyway, so here's a look at some head sculpts. Okay, this is posted by Aurora Figure Toy Store. Okay, right there. So you got this. Yeah, I mean, I guess they look fine. They're not like groundbreaking to me, but we'll have to see how this looks as a physical product. I do think the physical prototype stuff has looked better than the render stuff thus far. And then the Dragon Ball Heroes one, I believe this is. Okay. Then the shiny one. Huh. Yeah, so there's that. I guess Big Dino Reviews might prefer this version because he tends to like, I guess, shinier pearlescent figures and stuff, I guess. So, but for me, nah, give me a matte figure, man. So XF, I posted about these, or at least some of these or whatever, like on my YouTube post section. Like, they don't look horrible to me. Okay, I think these are for the like Orange Star Gohan thing. They don't look horrible to me, but they're not like so strikingly perfect that you're like, that looks like the manga, case closed, you know what I mean? So I guess they're kind of acceptable, or this one's kind of acceptable. I don't know what these symbols mean, or if this is before and after or something, I'm not sure. But I would say, dude, as I said in that post, as I've said before, XF, please just look at the manga and sculpt that. That's all you have to do, man. Like, there's not some, you don't have to like solve some ancient puzzle, some ancient riddle or something, dude. All you have to do is look at the source material and sculpt it, dude. It's really that simple, man. There's no need for all this stuff. There's no need for this, you know, changing the art style and making his features soft or making him look chubby and all this stuff, dude. Just look at the manga and sculpt the manga, dude. That's all you have to do, okay? There's no need for all this. So it says XF Sculpt and Design Updates. These will be matching source material manga. More photographs of Super Saiyan will be shared very soon. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's just not striking me as so like spot on or like super, you know, it's not striking me that way. So I don't know. I guess, I don't know. Like, I think something's missing. It's not bad, but it just doesn't strike. It's not like when I look at, what is there? There's like, I guess the Bardock custom stuff. When I look at that, I'm like, awesome, dude, awesome. You know, that kind of thing. So, or while Super Action Studio Goku, when you look at the manga cover, that is, that face sculpt is similar to and stuff, like, there's that. So I don't know. I think they do have to adjust it a bit, but... And then the sideburns here, why is there this, like, gap here? What is that about? I don't know. I kind of wish they just, like, shown the art reference for this or something so we could compare it directly, but I don't know. Then we have this. Yeah, so this is pretty weak to me. I personally don't see how this could be like spot on to the manga. I think this, I just can't see that being possible personally. I might have to look at it again, but just like the art style just looks off. He just looks kind of like round and chubby, kind of like, you know what I mean? So yes, there's that. And this right here too, like, yeah, man, so I think, I don't know, like, it looks like something's missing to me. So I think they have to try to make this a bit more similar to the manga, man. Especially if you're saying stuff here, like Courier News is saying these will be matching source material manga. Like, I think they have to, like, I guess, try more, put more effort into the artistic perfection of this or something, because, yeah, it's not striking me as, like, just like you just got it straight out of the manga, you know what I mean? Then we've got this, like, yeah, I can't see how this could be. And is this before and after? Is this the before and this is the after? I feel like the before looks better than the after. The eyes look kind of odd here, And of course, it's like, I'm not trying to be like, mean or anything, but trying to give some, I guess, constructive feedback here. Like, they gotta do something more with this. I can't see how this is like spot on to the manga. Like, I can't see that personally. So I think they have to improve these for sure. If you want to claim that they're looking like the manga, dude, like, I do not get that feeling from this personally. I really don't, Then we have this. I think this looks pretty good. It says before. I assume this is before and after. I'm not sure what those symbols mean, okay? But yeah, I mean, I think this looks pretty good. I think this is a better happy expression than I've seen, perhaps. Well, the eyes are closed, which is not a usual one that I see, I don't think. I think usually when I see happy expressions, they have the eyes open. So yeah, I kind of like how this looks, personally. Like, usually when they're happy and stuff, it's kind of like goofy and stuff. It's not like, So, I think this looks good. I like this. But I think the other face sculpts, like, this needs some work, Even the lines look kind of, I don't know, wobbly or something. So, hopefully they can improve that. Okay. And then we have this here. Now, I like the color of the Super Saiyan hair. I really do like that color right there. That looks nice to me. But the features, he just looks kind of puffy or chubby, I feel like he doesn't look like this. Like, this does not strike me as... Is this the same post talking about the manga and stuff? No, a different post, it seems. Okay. But, like, this does not strike me as, like, spot on to Gohan from the manga, I can't see how that's possible personally. So I think they really need to improve these face sculpts if they want to claim that these are like spot on to the manga or something. Like, there is more work that needs to be done here. Okay, so yeah, this looks kind of good, but still not 100% to me, Yeah, so let's see here. XF, Gohan's first revision and changes, most specifically Super Saiyan adjustments and base form improvements after sharing feedback from Courier News. Release date, once all adjustments and updates are complete, meeting audience feedback and expectations. So I do hope they can, further. I mean, honestly, like, I think was it Air Studio that made some Ultimate Gohan face sculpts? I think those look pretty much perfect sculpt wise. So I'd say, it's probably best to aim for something similar to that artistically. But this just looks kind of like, chubby or puffy, I would say. So I do think, and then, oh my goodness, please don't tell me that they won't have teeth gritted Super Saiyan, and instead they're having two looking to the side in two different directions. Dude, they better not have no teeth gritted expression and have two expressions looking to different sides. Like, they better not do that, man. Next we have ZT. So recently they shared some images of their like Super Saiyan 4 Broly figures, and I think these look pretty cool, honestly. And they seem to have some shading on the chest and stuff too, and the legs here. Okay. I think these look pretty good, man. Now ZT stuff is pretty expensive, and based on the comments I saw, I think I saw comments talking about like, basically, this better not, you know, be like poor quality control, and then there's another version later with better quality control or stuff like that. So I guess ZT Studio is now known for not having great quality control. I don't really follow like reviews of their figures or anything personally, because I'm not really interested in what they're making. I think I already have, for me, I already have a pretty solid like Broly figure. I don't really care about like, you know, Dragon Ball Heroes and stuff, just like regular DBZ movie Broly or Dragon Ball Super Broly or whatever. So I don't really follow the reviews of their stuff that much to be like super familiar with like all the reviews or quality control people have experienced generally and stuff, but it seems that ZT is known for bad quality control right now. So there's that. Keep that in mind if you plan to get any of this, I guess. But I think this looks pretty good. Now the face sculpts, I think they're good-ish. I don't think they're as good as TK Custom, but you know, they're not like trash to me or anything. Like they look almost like they're close to being perfect, but not quite there. I think is basically how I feel about them. But I think this looks cool too. That right there. And then we have this. That looks cool as well. Cool stuff, man. Then we've got this right here. And I believe Kang and GYZ have pre-orders for these up right now. Then we've got this as well. Cool. And this. Okay. Then this one right here. Yeah, I think this looks cool, man. And you see the shading in the fur, right? I appreciate that they added that. Some shading in the fur. It's not just like plain red plastic, right? Got this. Cool stuff, man. Face sculpts aren't perfect to me, but I do like how the body looks. I think that looks pretty cool. And the face sculpts aren't like trash, I don't think, but just not completely perfect to me. Got this too. And I think this is the last image. Yeah. Okay. So let me show you now the third-party listings on AliExpress and GYZ Toys. So first on AliExpress, Treasure Toys does have the Blood Fang Sirius, I believe is the code name being used for this right here. Got the GT color, Majin color, and I think this is some kind of Dragon Ball Heroes kind of color scheme. $94.16 free shipping, and they have the $12 off thing going on right there. I assume this will be releasing soon since we've seen so many like images of it recently and stuff like that. And I think there's even a Chinese review by like Toys Labs on YouTube if you want to look at that. I think I saw that a few days ago, or a day ago, or sometime recently, I think. And then GYZ Toys also has pre-orders for these. Same thing, GT color, Majin color, and then the dark color right there, $95.99. I believe shipping is free from GYZ Toys. Then the DKO Super Saiyan 2 Goku accessory head sculpt set right here, $54.47. I do think the price of that is quite high. Then we've got the MP Vegito stuff. So this is the yellow version. The blue version, I haven't seen any images yet of a colored blue version, but apparently that should be releasing soon after the yellow version. Then they have these kits right here, which I don't really know the purpose of these. Kind of like, I don't know. I think we probably need more information on what exactly these are. And then I guess is there like a Kamehameha effect piece or something? I'm not sure. but this is at Kang right here, $87.14 free shipping, and they have the $12 off thing going on right there. As for GYZ Toys, it is $86.35, and they also have the yellow, blue, and these two different accessory kits. Once again, not sure what's going on with those. So let's see. Well, Kang is a slightly more expensive than GYZ Toys, but not if you include the $12 off discount thing, okay? And then we have this Mutant Lizard Warrior Kado, okay? $76.90 from GYZ Toys. They have the regular version, the black version, and this like shiny, it's called pearlized version there. And Haro Toy Store also has it up right here as well, all three versions. Interesting how the regular Janemba is cheaper than the other two. That's kind of weird. Are the prices all the same? Oh, the prices are different here as well. So wait, why is this is $76.90, $79.28, $79.28. Why is the regular Janemba cheaper than the other two? That's weird. Is it because they expect to sell less, so they charge more to make up for the difference or something? $81.29 for this, and then this and this. Yeah, so these prices are slightly higher than GYZ Toys, but AliExpress does have this $12 off thing going on right now. It says ship on October 2026. You already know if you follow these recaps for a while. Don't take that as a guarantee, and I do not recommend pre-ordering third-party stuff personally. I would say wait until it's available, it has released, and then you can get it, because then you wouldn't have to worry about delays, and then 6 months pass and you can't dispute the charge, or you might get some, automatically generated shipping logistics or whatever, all that kind of confusion and stuff. So there's that. And then Haro Toy Store also has the Super Saiyan 4 Broly stuff going on right here. $147.16 free shipping. They have this $20 off thing going on. And finally, GYZ Toys has the same stuff right here. ZTO4A, ZTO4B, wait, what? Okay, O4A, O4B battle damage, right. Then O4C, O4D battle damage. Okay, 142.18, let's compare that to the price over here. Okay, so it is slightly cheaper on GYZ Toys, it seems. Let's see, yeah, but AliExpress does have this $20 off discount going on right now, so there's that. And notice it says here released on July. Obviously July is gone, and that is a classic example of why I don't recommend pre-ordering third-party stuff anymore. Okay, so for me personally, I recently bought the WP Birder, but before I bought it, the seller told me it is in stock. Okay, so we'll see if I get that soon. I might review that and the Shenron clone that I got. I might also review the Raccoon. Guess we'll have to see. But anyways, guys, that's it for the Dragon Ball figure recap. Be sure to subscribe if you want to be updated on Dragon Ball figures, and use dbfigs.com to make collecting much more convenient and much less stressful. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.